These are two Disney destinations that could not be more different in cost for Australian travellers, and the answer to which is cheaper might surprise you. Disneyland in California and Disney World in Florida both promise magical experiences, but when you are converting Australian dollars and factoring in everything from flights to hotels to the new Genie plus Lightning Lane costs, one consistently comes out ahead for your wallet. Starting with the basics, Disneyland Resort in Anaheim spans just 500 acres, with 2 theme parks you can literally walk between in under 2 minutes. The resort is compact and ideal for short visits. Disney World in Orlando is a completely different beast, covering 47 square miles, roughly the size of San Francisco, and it houses 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, and more than 30 Disney-owned hotels. To put that in perspective, Disney World is about 50 times larger by land area than Disneyland. This size difference immediately impacts your trip planning and costs. At Disneyland, you can experience most of what the resort offers in 2 to 3 days. Disney World demands 5 to 7 days to properly explore all 4 parks and experience attractions like Tron Light Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom and Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind at Epcot. Right away, this creates a fundamental cost equation: shorter trips versus longer stays. Now let's talk about what really matters to your Australian bank account: the numbers. As of 2025, Disneyland's single-day tickets range from $104 to a peak price of $224. Disney World's tickets run between $119 and $209, depending on the park and season. On paper, Disney World tickets are about 3.9% more expensive than Disneyland tickets. But here's where it gets interesting. When you buy multi-day passes, the daily cost drops significantly at both destinations. A 5-day Disneyland ticket costs about $103 per day, while Disney World's equivalent runs around $106 per day. Park hopper option, allowing you to visit multiple parks in one day, costs an additional $70 to $135 at Disneyland, depending on ticket length. Disney World charges about $85 for the same privilege. Do not forget Lightning Lane costs. Disney World's Genie Plus runs $15 to $35 per person per day, while Disneyland charges $30 to $35 daily for the same skip the line service. For Australians dealing with currency conversion at roughly 70 cents to the US dollar, you need to add about 43% to these US prices to get the real Australian dollar cost. But tickets are just the beginning. Where things get really dramatic is accommodation, and this is where Disney World pulls ahead significantly for Australian wallets. Disney's cheapest on-property hotel at Disney World, the All-Star Sports, averages $180 per night. Compare that to Disneyland's most affordable Disney hotel, the Pixar Place Hotel, starting at $355 per night. We are talking nearly double the cost for Disney-branded accommodation. At the premium end, it gets even more stark. Disney World's Polynesian Resort ranges from $656 to $953 per night in 2025, while Disneyland's Grand Californian Hotel commands between $584 and $767 nightly. Across all Disney hotels, Disney World averages about 50% less expensive than Disneyland's properties. The off-property hotel situation mirrors this pattern. Near Disneyland, major chain hotels run $250 Australian dollars to $600 Australian dollars per night, while comparable Orlando properties sit around $150 Australian dollars to $400 Australian dollars per night. Hotels literally down the street from Disneyland Resort average under $200 US dollars per night, but even these typically cost more than Orlando alternatives. Getting there from Australia presents its own cost comparison. Qantas flies direct from Sydney to Los Angeles for Disneyland access, with fares between $627 and $1,166 depending on season and booking timing, and an average around $902. From Melbourne and Brisbane, you will typically connect through Sydney or pay similar direct rates. The best deals hover around $737 for round-trip economy. You get the advantage of direct flights with Qantas, cutting your travel time to about 13 hours and 42 minutes. Sydney to Orlando requires connections, typically through Los Angeles, and runs slightly higher at $980 to $1,036 for the best deals, with an average around $1,131. Flight time stretches to over 21 hours with connections. Interestingly, 57% of travelers choose Los Angeles as their connection point anyway, meaning many people fly the same route to reach either destination. Food costs also favor Disney World, running about 9.9% less expensive than Disneyland across the board. This might seem minor, but over a week-long vacation for a family, these percentages add up to real dollars. Here's where the math gets particularly interesting for Australian families. Disney World currently offers free dining plans for children ages 3 to 9, with select 2026 vacation packages. They are also providing free water park days during summer 2026 for resort guests. Disneyland's current major promotion is limited to California residents only, a 3-day park hopper for $249, but that does not help Australians. Let's run the numbers on a hypothetical 5-day trip for 2 Australian adults. Round-trip flights cost roughly the same, $1,500 to $2,200 per person to either destination. 5-day tickets run about $515 per person for Disneyland, versus $530 for Disney World, essentially identical when converted to Australian dollars. The accommodation is where Disney World's advantage becomes undeniable. 5 nights at a Disney hotel in Orlando might cost $900 to $2,000 total, while the same stay at Disneyland could run $1,775 to $3,835. Even off-property, Orlando hotels consistently cost 25 to 30% less than Anaheim equivalents. But here is the crucial caveat. Disneyland works beautifully for a shorter trip. Many visitors find 2 days sufficient to experience both Disneyland parks thoroughly, while Disney World really shines when you can dedicate 5 or more days to explore attractions like Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance at both parks. This creates a scenario where Disneyland might actually be cheaper for quick getaways, while Disney World becomes more economical for extended vacations. The current exchange rate environment is not helping Australian travellers. With the Aussie dollar sitting around 70 US cents, everything costs 10 to 15% more than it feels like it should. The Australian dollar reached its highest point in March 2026 at 71.29 US cents. But it also hit a low of 64.50 US cents in late 2025, showing significant volatility that impacts travel planning. Transportation within the destinations also differs significantly. At Disneyland, you walk everywhere. It is that compact. Disney World provides free buses, monorails, boats, and the newer Skyliner gondola system connecting parks and hotels, and guests staying on property get Magic Band plus wristbands for convenient park entry and purchases. This free transportation network at Disney World can save money on rental cars or ride-sharing services. One factor that often gets overlooked is the California versus Florida experience difference. More than 50% of Disneyland visitors are California residents, creating a more local atmosphere. Disney World draws from a much broader geographic range, creating a different energy and crowd composition that some international visitors prefer. Planning both trips through the My Disney Experience app helps with reservations and scheduling. The bottom line for Australian travellers comes down to your vacation style and duration. For a quick 3-day Disney fix, Disneyland's compact layout and shorter flight time might edge out Disney World despite higher hotel costs. You will spend less on accommodation simply because you need fewer nights. For a proper Disney vacation of 5 days or more, Disney World consistently comes out ahead. The combination of significantly cheaper hotels, free resort transportation, lower food costs, and current promotional offers like free kids dining plans create substantial savings that outweigh the marginally higher ticket prices. The math becomes even more favourable for Disney World if you are travelling with children or planning to visit during peak seasons when hotel price differences become most pronounced. During December holidays, for instance, Disneyland hotel premiums can reach 60 to 70% above Orlando equivalents. Perhaps most importantly, Disney World's sheer size and variety mean you are getting more entertainment value for your vacation investment. 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs shopping district, and extensive resort recreation create more to do per day than Disneyland's more concentrated but limited offerings. For Australian families planning their first Disney experience, Disney World offers better value, more to explore, and typically lower total costs for stays of 3 nights or longer. Disneyland remains the better choice for Disney fans wanting a quick, focused experience, or those specifically drawn to Walt Disney's original park and its unique California charm. The magic costs money at both destinations, but for most Australian travellers, Disney World delivers more magic for fewer Australian dollars.